Okay, you guys get to hear from the one and only Cavan Helps. He is a rock star.
Literally no one else with my name.
There's literally no one else with his name, so well that we know of.
No, I looked into it. Like if there is,
He killed off everyone else that's named Cavan Helps. Is what he's trying to get at. So yeah, he's a rock star. I'm excited for you guys to hear from him. There's another pen.
Bunch of helps in person,
Okay,
but no evidence of a
I
cat.
need this on you.
Oh
and
yeah, you
This in
even
your
said
hand.
that.
Yeah,
I was
and then
like,
you
I'll
put it
do
down. I was like, I don't know why you
I
put that
was
down.
like, screw you, bro.
Okay, and then anyone that speaks on Zoom, you'll just hear him out of this laptop.
Cool. Do we have people on Zoom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, have fun, guys.
Okay, well, I'm Cavan. I've been doing real estate going on 9 years now. And I got into it because I got laid off and real estate looked fun. So and here I am 9 years later. This is my longest held job by a factor of 3. Before this, I edited online language courses. And so you wanted to learn French from a now defunct company called Middlebury Interactive Languages. I edited that course. But I don't think you can find it anywhere on the internet anymore. I think they died. So because they let this guy go, I was holding that company on my shoulders. Yeah, so the excuse me. The lesson today is define your value. When we talk about like value statements, elevator pitches, do you all know what I'm talking about? Okay, so essentially the goal for today, hold on, this is my cold. I don't have it anymore. At least I really don't think so. If I start coughing and sneezing, I'll just walk right out the door because I didn't bring a mask. So that'll just be the end of but essentially we want you to be able to articulate clearly why someone should pick you as a realtor. Everyone knows multiple realtors, especially if you're connected to Facebook and you're lonely. Just say that you're looking to buy a house and you will suddenly have so many friends come out of nowhere to suddenly want to talk to you. And so the question is, in such an oversaturated market, how do you get them to pick you? And I think there are actually some very clear answers to that. But I'm curious offhand if any of you already have an answer to that question. If no, that's okay. That's why we're having a lesson. Why pick you instead of the 3 other realtors I know?
Maybe if you have a connection where they trust you.
Okay.
It would have to be a close connection. For someone random, I don't know why they pick me.
Yeah, fair enough. That is, the stats were in the book thingy. But I think it's 86%, definitely don't quote me on that, of people chose their realtor because it was a member of their family or a friend. And so working your SOI, when I say SOI, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So like working your SOI is definitely the most powerful thing you can do, especially at this stage of your career. But I want to talk about kind of the different assets you have. We're going to talk about maybe things you didn't think of. I don't know how long this is going to take. Because when I read through the instructor preparation, I legit hated everything it had to say. So we're going completely off script and we're going to do this in, I think, a much more efficient and interesting way that will make you better realtors or ruin your careers. But, you know, it's not my career. My career is fine. So this says you. It just occurred to me that there might be people on Zoom.
Yeah, maybe.
Everyone on Zoom, just say hi all at once.
Hi, Kevin. We got Lupe here, but she's driving, I think. So
Hi,
Yeah.
Lupe.
No, I'm here. I'm not driving anymore. Hi.
Okay, cool. Can you see that? Can you see me?
Yep.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, good. Well, hi, Lupe. Welcome. How long have you been in real estate?
Hi. I just got licensed this year. Just last month.
Oh, welcome. We're glad to have you. Where are you driving to?
You know what? I'm actually home now. I just had to run in the store, but I'm home now.
Oh, okay, I was hoping it was somewhere fun.
We own a house. I own a home. And so I seen all the benefits of owning, and I just wanted to help my family and friends. So that's why I got into real estate.
Um. Write your name down in my notebook. And I'll put it in a cloud, because you're not in a physical space here. Ooh, Lupe. Okay, so essentially. You have two assets that we're going to talk about in broad terms today. You've got you yourself, and then Keller Williams, which is the brokerage you have joined. And then each of these assets can kind of be broken into three categories: the culture / mission. I didn't know what to call this category, but the personality. Like Keller Williams doesn't have personality, but you do. Keller Williams has a culture, but you have a personality. So culture and then / mission. A couple of you, when you told me the unique thing about you in real estate, you said, oh, I want to do this. I want to accomplish this. That's your mission. You just stated it. What we might be able to do is help you refine it down a bit. But that's, do you understand what I'm getting at? Why I had trouble assigning one word to this? This is the you-ishness of it all. Expertise and experience, I have separated differently. Experience is what you have already done. And then expertise is what you are good at doing. Or since you're new agents, what you are actively working on being good at doing. I forget who made the comment that real estate is not about having all the knowledge. That's correct. You're never going to have all the knowledge. It does help to have more knowledge than the other side of the party, but we're not talking about negotiations today. So what I'd like you all to do, does everyone have a means to write things down? I see a lot of computers, I see notebooks, perfect. Okay. So what I'd like you to do is just take a minute to write down what in your personality, none of these are going to be unique, just to be clear. All of these are going to have overlap with other realtors. Don't worry about being unique yet. Oh, that was fun. But just, oh, whoa. Whoa, that was so scary.
It's gone dark. Something blue.
Like if this were an indie video game, that lady would be about to murder us all.
That's not true statement.
So I hope it's not.
Coming through the screen.
Right? And it's a projector, so would she come out of the projector or the
Yes.
projected surface? So, okay, go ahead and take a minute, and I want you to write down just personality traits, anything that you consider to be part of yourself that you would consider an asset in real estate. I do not want you to filter for what you think people want to hear right now. I want you to focus on being 100% blazingly honest. I can see myself now in Zoom. And I'll give you like 2 minutes. I don't think this will be too hard. Maybe I'm wrong.
So what are we writing
Specifically?
Personality traits you have that you think are an asset as a realtor.
Thank you.
Go into especially these other two categories. Right now, consider us to be in the blue sky phase. Later on in the lesson, there will probably be wrong answers. That time has not arrived yet. So anything that occurs to you is probably correct and worth writing down, and we will filter it later. So just sorry to kind of put you on the altar there, but like you don't have to apologize for anything you've written. This is a very personal thing. My only request is be as honest as you can. Don't be like me, the dishonest. Amazing bit.
Bad qualities or just our good qualities?
I don't need your bad qualities. I don't necessarily think you should work those into your value statement. There are, I think, ways you can spin them, like in a job interview. What's your weakness? Oh, I'm a perfectionist. Like that's fine. Yeah, I do think you can do really effective like ads and presentations using your weaknesses when you spin them into strengths. Don't actually present, I'm lazy and will make mistakes on your contract. Like I would not throw that into your yeah. But there is, like with Blunt, for example, I really like Blunt because there's a mortgage officer that I recommended for most of my career. He went part-time, boo. But I recommended him for the majority of my career, and what I loved about him is if he had bad news, you would get it within an hour. He didn't like shrink from the phone when there was something negative to say, and so I think blunt is definitely an asset.
AKA strong communication skills.
Yeah.
See, spin it.
Spin that crap.
Cause I wouldn't say I'm blunt, but I'm direct, and I think I'm a good.
Yeah. Okay, Lucas, let's hear what you wrote.
I'm hardworking, positive, honest, as Jenna said, but I'll tell you I did something wrong. Honest, loyal, disciplined, and then I stole, driven, and friendly.
Perfect. I'm glad to hear about the theft, and I hope lots of theft
I
took
thought
place.
you were honest, Lucas.
Wait a second, we got him, guys.
Oh, he said in some things, so.
I'm honest when it's convenient.
When it's work.
If you are hardworking and disciplined, you're gonna make a buttload of money. So, well done. I would not actually put either of those on my value statement, but I'm efficient is how I would spin myself. Yeah, efficient.
Can't spell.
I will do the most work with the least effort.
Smarter, not harder.
Yes.
Okay, this is where, especially because we're new, I know that these last two are gonna be a little bit tricky. So let's take a second. And we're still in blue sky phase here. No wrong answers. There's some wrong answers, but try not to find them. What do agents do? So we're gonna divide this into two categories, a listing and buyer agent, because those are slightly different organisms, even though most of us are gonna be both.
You market, listing agents market,
Market,
just the fears,
say that
you
again?
have to ease the fears.
Ooh, yeah.
That goes on both
We'll
sides.
put a category for both. Ease fears. This, can you see how much this whiteboard is rocking? I'm having to steady it with my left hand and even touching it with a marker. It's,
Could fall over.
yeah,
Is there a way to tighten it?
maybe, you know, one of these wheel brakes was on, maybe that was helping. All right, what else? What else do agents do? I don't think you need any knowledge of the industry to do this, because this is what do non-agents think we do. Look cool.
They think we just dress cute, pretty much.
Look cool / cute. I'm gonna categorize those together.
They do, think that's what we do, is we just get dressed up.
I do. I have a whole wardrobe. I'm like, this is.
Stick a sign in the yard and pray hard.
There you go.
They think we just bring treats to the house
I
and
think-
just sit there and like open a door.
They think that we know everything about every house on the market. and
Yes,
Every school
yes,
district.
yes.
And every flood zone.
Do
And
you know where this
every
person
current
lives?
event.
No,
They think you're an expert.
And every stat.
yes.
I have so many friends who are intellectuals and they're like, Jen,
So
what is
let's,
predictions for the market next year?
Yeah.
I'm like, you know how much work it's gonna take me to come up with an
What's
intelligent answer to
treats
that?
under listing?
someone said bring treats.
I
That
said
is
they
something
didn't know
agents
to
bring.
treats to the open house.
Yeah, to like an open house.
Yeah, we just all just supply treats. That's all
Also,
we do. We sit
something-
there with treats.
Something that got really big in, was it 2019? I weirdly saw it for like a 6-month period and then it abruptly ended. Is cute notes when you went into the house. You still see this occasionally, but for a while it was everywhere. You go into the house and it's like, thanks for touring our house. Have a Snickers. This is the kitchen. We love our kitchen.
Oh my
And
God.
I liked it. I don't know how effective it was at selling places. 'Cause I don't know how you would get a metadata
But that's cute. See?
composite of that, but
Yeah, I'm a treat girl, Chris.
Okay,
That's me.
no, I was like, are we writing what?
wait,
I
let me
don't know,
start
I
over.
couldn't
Wait,
figure out
you're
what
not
we're doing.
bringing treats to your listings. There, that was the correct answer. Okay, what else?
We think we're communicators.
Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. What do you mean specifically?
I feel like we are the cruise directors of the cruise. We're like,
Yes,
we're
Yes.
kind of the middle people. We're the middle people.
Yeah, okay, so the way I would say that manifests like with buyer agents is you curate homes. Like you
That's a great fancy way of saying that. I love that.
You'll be like, oh, you want a 3-bed, 2-bath, but your dog's an idiot. So you will make sure that you send them fence homes or stuff like that. Also, just if you have a dog, you should make a fence home. Like that was a terrible example. But then like buyers, they're okay. If you go to the general public, the humans, before we were lobotomized when we got our licenses, what humans think we do is they want you to find them the best house. It is adorable to me that when they took that survey in year 2022, they thought that the buyer's agent was going to find the best house when you will never outpace the internet. Nothing you can do will make you a better resource than the internet. But that is what they want us to do. They want us to find homes.
That's what that whole case is about. I was reading about that last night.
Yeah, the big lawsuit
Yeah.
with NAR.
That there's no purpose anymore for a buyer's agent because they can find it themselves all over the internet.
Cool, it's your own contract.
Yeah.
Bye.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and that's what
I-
all the comments were like. Hope it works out for you. Hope you get that best deal all by yourself and you
Read
can
that
do all that
back,
paperwork.
I've done that before.
I am kind of itching to like talk about BAC because this is something that I've had a really strong opinion about for a while.
And the fact they wanna give you a 1% now, or
Yeah,
2%.
or $0, which is
Yeah,
what
or
I found
somebody
in
said
MLS.
$1 and I'm like, hope that works out for you. Have a good day.
No, so one thing that's a pet peeve of mine, if you do this, I can't stop you. A lot of good agents do this. Well, actually, you can't anymore, thanks to the
What?
lawsuit, is as a buyer's agent, do not say you are free.
Oh, yeah. you're not allowed to
Stop
do
it,
that.
stop
What do you
it.
mean, say you're free? Why would
A lot of
somebody say
buyers
you're
agents for
free?
years be like, oh, your buyer's agent doesn't cost anything because the BAC covers us. And that's, I mean, that's truth adjacent, that's close to correct. But if you advertise yourself as free, like, is that your value pitch?
No, you're not
Like, if
free.
you went to the mechanic and they're like, so tell me why I should use you instead of the mechanic, it's like, oh, we're free.
No.
What? Why? And that's, oh, I hate it, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be illegal soon. In fact, I believe we've already been advised to stop saying that. I haven't said that I was free for like 7
What
years.
do you say? Cause Angie said you say something that she
Heck yeah.
copied. So
Okay.
what do you say?
This is not exactly in the scope of this lesson, but I'm happy to tell you. The vast majority of my business is buyers, about 80%. And during the buyer consult, I like to throw other agents under the bus. I'll stop telling you what I do and I'll just show you. Okay, Chris, so
Yes.
you've probably met with a lot of agents and they say buyers agents are free. That is truth adjacent. They're free asterisk. Because as you can see on the buyer agency contract, I've put 3% or 2.5, it depends on the contract. In this case, we'll say 3%. And in 90% of cases, the seller will cover that because they put like a little bounty on their house, their buyer agent commission, which goes to pay my commission if we buy the house. Occasionally, for example, a lot of discount brokerages will do this. For sale by owners will sometimes have this problem where they will not cover my commission. In those cases, I will call you. It will not be a surprise. And before we go see the house, I'll say, by the way, this one's only bringing a BAC of 1%. If we close on this house, you'll need to bring an additional $6,000 or whatever it'll be, because it's a percentage of the price, so it's not a fixed thing. So for that reason, if you want to go see a for sale by owner, you see a sign, those are great. I love discount shopping for sale by owners. Let me be the first point of contact. Because if you contact them and you say, hey, I want to see your house, and then I call them and say, hey, I've got a buyer who wants to see your house. I'm really out of breath. I'm very fat. Hey, I've got a buyer who wants to see your house. They're like, oh, no. We just heard from this great lady who's interested. We want to see how that plays out first. If I'm the first point of contact, then I'm be like, hey, are you willing to pay my commission? Most of the time they'll say yes, and it won't be an issue. If they do say no, I'll come back to you. We'll say, hey, how do you want to handle this? You can fire me. You can do whatever we need to do. But most of the time they will agree to pay my commission.
The buyer,
The seller,
the
yeah.
sell by owner.
Yeah, and so I'm not free. I've never been free. You're bringing all the money to the transaction. But in cases where my commission will not be included with the price of the home, I will make sure you know way in advance. Is that cool? Cool.
I love the high five.
Sign here, yeah. I also this is actually heterodox in Keller Williams philosophy. I very seldom have them sign at the consultation. I think I've probably lost clients by doing that, but one of my pitches matches what a couple of you said is I'm not salesy at all.
I didn't until we went under contract with both of them, and I'd probably be told not to do it that way, but that feels comfortable to me.
When I go to consultation and they try to make me sign on the spot, my shields go up. And I'm looking for clients who are like me. So maybe that's why I'm still cool.
I like that you said that because that's one thing I don't want to come off pushy either, like a sleazy like car salesman.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you. And you're going to get in classes in Ignite where they push you to get them signed at the appointment. There are advantages to doing that. By doing it my way, you will lose clients. It will cost you money to do it that way, but that is who I choose to be as a salesman. So
But you're gonna get more people like you to come to you.
I hope so.
Well, you're getting people you want to work
You
with.
will, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still around, so it's been working okay. But yeah, I have this whole, I don't want to get too much off into the weeds, but I have this philosophy about the two kinds of salesmen. There's red salesman and blue salesman, and red salesman is numbers, call your people, and blue is more relationship-based salesman. Those colors are arbitrary.
No, they're not. So nice.
Yeah, Jenna.
Okay, so I have tried to do the same thing. I'm definitely relationship based. I don't call people. I go out and socialize. I keep up with people. I text a million people a day.
Yeah.
I call people, but I don't call people about real estate. So I have tons and tons of people. I mean, like dozens every week who are asking me, oh, can you take me to look at this house? And can you ask this seller if they're, find out on this listing if the seller's willing to do seller financing, just all these things.
Yeah.
And I am so overworked by people who have not signed BBAs that I will work with them for maybe 10 hours. And then I'm like, Kate, in order to move forward, I need you to sign a BBA. So I can officially work for you.
Yeah, so my stance on that, everyone's gonna have their own take on it. My stance is first piece of candy is free. I really try hard not to meet a stranger in a home like by myself. So that's one caveat, especially it's not fair, but women especially be careful with that sort of thing. Try and bring someone with you, make sure that they've pre-qualified or something. But even me, I don't want to get murdered either, even though I'm not a woman. I know that's odd. But yeah, that's what I thought too. But then people just I need to stop that sentence. But then after I do one thing for them, I show them a house, I do some research for them or whatever. After that, if they continue asking me things like, hey, I would love to help you, but let's secure this relationship. And that, so again, that is something where people will get mad at you. Although I would argue that is a fantastic filter. If they're not willing to sign a BBA after you have done service for them, they were not going to be a good client.
Well, I worked over 100 hours for a client and then they would just walk away.
Right. And look, that's also just going to happen. People with signed BBAs are going to walk away too. That's just the biz. That's one of the reasons we're so expensive is they're paying for every client who didn't close with you too. Because we're not cheap. Realtors are not cheap. I think we're worth every penny. I think I'm worth every penny.
So you say, I'd love to help you, but
Solidify the.
Yeah,
relationship.
I admit I don't really have a script for that. It kind of depends on the person. But it's like, if I've shown them a house, for example, they want to look at another house, it's like, so are we in the market? This sounds pretty serious. Let's have a proper consultation. Let's get you pre-qualified. Let's do this. But if it's like, my sister or a close friend, obviously I might just take her to the second house or whatever. So I don't have a script, unfortunately, but yeah, my general rule is first piece of candy is free. Okay, sorry, I do want to come back to our value statements though, because if we can't walk away from here doing value statements, I have failed. You just came in. What's your name? Hi, Brinley. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Okay, do we want to add anything to this list of things that realtors do? Where did I put my mark? Okay. Paperwork, yep. I would argue this is the least sexy and most important thing we do. Is contract. So I think contracts fall into two categories. Negotiation. I have never hated a whiteboard more than I hate this one.
You want me to get you the paper?
No, I think that'll make me sadder,
Okay.
but thank you, I appreciate the offer. And then what I'm gonna say is like administration, which is like making sure the deal happened correctly. So even if both parties are in total agreement, you all have a bunch of goodwill with each other, even then, there are pitfalls and landmines to avoid in the contract. And then the last thing is vendor management with buyers. With listing agents, it can come up. With buyer agents, it always comes up every single transaction. I was making sure that the inspector gets there in good order, that the appraiser gets in, that all happens in the time frame it's supposed to. Okay, so what I'd like you to do for expertise, I'd like you to look at this list and anything that you feel should have made it on the list but didn't. Anything that you are particularly interested in or think you are currently pretty good at. And then write down, I don't know, I'm gonna give you another 2 minutes. Write down like your field of expertise or fields of expertise. Here's your 2-minute timer. I'm gonna drink all the water on earth.
That one was harder.
It is tricky, yeah, and this one can be aspirational, and at this stage in your career is kind of necessarily gonna be aspirational. It's a
You're an
little
expert
nuts to
at
say you're an
showing up at
expert in
KW
something.
for Ignite.
Yeah. That is something I would say for a while, by the way, is I'm a student of the market. Because that's one thing I market is, that's a weird way to use the word market. One thing I advertise about myself is that I study the market carefully and diligently. And honestly, if you just check the MLS a couple times a week, you're ahead of the curve. You're top 10%. So, okay. So the main thing is I do want you all to zero in on a couple things here that even if you don't think you're good at them now, which you're probably not, that you want to be good at. Because any of these things, you are all rational, reasonable adults. Any of these things you can become good at very fast. Nothing we do in this profession is enormously technical. We are unskilled labor that's hiding behind a license. That was extremely reductive. There's nothing here that you can't learn. You don't need a degree to be a realtor.
70%.
Yeah.
Somebody said the other day, they're like, you're C.
Does it drive you crazy that they don't tell you your score? Because when I took the test, when I took the test, there were so many things like I was positive I'd failed it. I was a first time passer. But my goodness, there were so many questions like, I don't know. And so I just put a guess and was like, well, I'm looking forward to taking the test again. And then I passed with, I'm assuming the bare minimum required. Because
like my husband says, don't question it. You passed. Just move on.
Right.
I'm like,
Graduating high school.
And then last thing, you all kind of did this when you introduced yourselves at the top of class. This is the twist, is experience. I don't need to turn the board around. So you just take another 2 minutes and write down any relevant experience, especially anything that feeds into what you wrote as your areas of interest or expertise. And yeah, go for it. Is anyone still writing? Are we good? Okay, so I do feel that most of you did share your experience when we introduced ourselves, but if anyone would love to share what they wrote, I'm definitely down for that. We're all about stealing from each other. Yeah, Lucas.
So, I think my experiences are like information about houses, so like working with the construction, I learned about like brain reading and like electricity and electric stuff in the houses, so I know information about how they're built. And then also sales, because I did road work, so I have experience on negotiating and
Nice. What'd you do? Sell door to door?
the company did replacements on roofs, windows and siding. So my job was to get an appointment set up for them. Not board, so hey, we're coming around, you can expect it to be a little bit about your roof.
Nice. So you weren't kidding when you say you were disciplined and hardworking. I looked at door to door. I can't. And I'm very happy with my career in real estate, but yeah, no, I looked into it in my 20s. It's like, nope. So I admire that. Well done, Lucas. Okay. Any other experience that people want to share? This admittedly would be harder to steal from each other, but not impossible. You're like, I bought a house. Someone's else. Oh, so did I. Yeah, go ahead.
Just life experience or what?
Yeah, anything that helps be an asset to you as a realtor.
I've had my own business for 22 years
Nice.
and run it and then I've had 2 jobs and then been a travel agent for 10 and had to, deal with people.
What was the business that you owned?
Hairstylist, so, you have to,
Okay.
I'm not pushy, it's all relationship, everything's.
Yeah.
Based, and I didn't advertise ever in 22 years. It's all on referrals.
That's very cool.
All.
I feel like those
relationship-based.
both could feed into a good value statement. Okay, cool. I want to talk to you about Keller Williams now. We're gonna go chiastically. We're gonna go in reverse order of what we just did. Because we are Hebrew poets. This isn't what I was thinking. Okay, so experience with Keller Williams. The company was founded in 1983. That's longer than I've been alive. And yeah, particularly in Utah, I believe we've been here since 1999. And so the Keller Williams has seen stuff, and you have access to agents here who have literal decades. I guess if you combine it all together, centuries of experience in this building right now. And then similar with expertise, there is no part of being a real estate agent that someone in this building has not already experienced to its most intense level, and that someone is very likely willing to help you. And these are things that you can sell, right? Especially as you're starting your career. It's like, hey, I'm a member of the largest real estate brokerage in the state of Utah, which you are. I have access to the best agents and the highest earning agents in Utah, which you do. They're here. And there's no aspect of real estate that if I don't know it myself, I can't go find out with a quick phone call or a walk down the hall to someone's office. By joining Keller Williams Westfield in particular, you have joined the best real estate network in the state of Utah. Objectively speaking, I would defend that against anyone. You could have joined Homey. They have 40 employees now, apparently. I'm not allowed to slam Homey. My heart bleeds for our fellow realtors. And then the other thing is the culture and mission of Keller Williams. Do you guys know about the why 4 C's, 2 T's? Are hyper memorable. Did I turn off all the brakes? I guess I did. Hard to say. I will never remember these in my entire life because there's nothing memorable about why 4C 2 T's. But anything on here, anything in the company culture, you can also work into your value statement. This is probably a review for all of you. You've all seen these. Okay, then we're not going to dive into it too much. Okay, we're going to synthesize these now. You know about your personality, your expertise, and your experience. You know about Keller Williams culture, our expertise and experience, which is essentially all of it. So what I would like you to do now, and I'm going to give you 3 minutes, I'm going to spoil you, is I do want you to write a bio, an elevator pitch. So the scenario here is you're talking to a hypothetical client and they say, hey, I have $10 million I need to place in real estate investments. Why should I pick you? Oh, and I don't want you to be humble. I just want you to give it to me straight, because that is actually pretty realistic that an investor would say that. So for the purposes of this bio, the next 3 minutes, no humility is allowed. We are talking about ourselves and we are being direct about our strengths. I want you to call back on these things you've written down. That's your resource pool. Anything you've heard that is now striking you as something you should steal, go for it. Your job is to win $10 million in business.
I'll stand in your corner through everything, through, the ups
Ooh,
and downs.
okay.
And through negotiations. I may be young, but I'm strong-headed and I will stand by you.
I love I'll stand in your corner. That's good marketing piece. Cool. Okay. Lucas.
So I put, the reason you should work with me is because I'm hardworking and I know where income would be the best place to invest in real estate. Growing up, I've seen my father work with a lot of investors that own over 150 properties in Utah. Each, they taught me the best and the worst areas to invest in property. Knowing this, I can help you find the best areas and help negotiate for the best price as well.
That was an awesome pitch. And I want everyone to know that Lucas did manage to work in all three aspects and did it very fluidly. Where he put in who he was, he put hardworking right at the front, and then he mentioned his background, and then his expertise in finding investment. That was a really good pitch. Well done. Okay, then let's go over to Leo.
Mine's terrible. Just work with me.
That
I'm hardworking. I'm loyal.
just work with me.
Looking for, and let's get it going. Let's get the ball rolling. Let's get going on this. That's it. That's all I got for you.
Love it. Sign this. I could beat you up.
Oh, yeah. It's right after he shows me he's got the money. Then
Yeah.
I'll be right.
This investor, I didn't tell you, it's actually like this 75-year-old. He's like 5'5", maybe 90 pounds. It's like, hey, just give me the money.
Hey, bro. You like steak? I like steak. Let's go have a dinner.
Cool. Cool. I'm gonna jump to the front rudely. Chris, you ready to go?
I'd love to go, Kevin.
All right, let's do it.
This sounds like I feel like a kindergarten.
Yeah, and it will. And this is a very unnatural way to present yourself, but it's for the
And
purposes
this
of this
is in my
exercise.
own words, I might add.
Yeah, no AIs here.
Okay, I have the largest brokerage in Utah at my disposal. I will be honest and direct with you always. I also have access to many professionals and experts that I have worked with in the past and trust their knowledge completely.
Great. That was a really good pitch. Good work. Scarlett, let's do it.
I'm gonna read hers
Okay,
and.
Read that part, I can cross it out.
I really, this is making me so uncomfortable, but I understand why. I am very hardworking and I will have your back no matter what. I have a win-win mindset and I'm gonna get you the very best deal. And if I don't know something, I have a team of experts who know it all.
Awesome. Really, really good.
That looks cute.
And I'm adorable.
Hands down, right?
Ooh, I'm stealing that from my pitches. And
Yeah.
you may have noticed I'm adorable.
I look good.
Yeah, and this is by nature a very uncomfortable activity. So I appreciate you just powering through it. Okay, let's bounce back to the back again and go to Melissa. Yeah, I'm doing an insane order. You get to go last.
Theoretically, I have two.
Okay.
I have one that I actually wrote that is for like a video pitch for
Oh.
networking, and then I have the actual bio that I wrote in film.
Ooh, I'm interested in that too, but let's just go with whichever or both, whatever you feel like sharing.
Okay, we're gonna do the AI.
Okay.
This one sounds better. Makes me look better. I'm Melissa Kamar, delivering top tier real estate services in Utah County, Utah. My background in business management and passion for real estate drive my success in delivering outstanding results. I focus on tailored strategies, meticulous market insights, and seamless transactions so my clients make informed decisions with confidence. My philosophy blends hard work and intelligence to offer unparalleled advice and advocacy.
She's using big words.
From first homes to investment properties, I guarantee detailed guidance every step of the way. Connect with me for partnership advice, professional excellence, and personal commitment to your real estate vision.
I might steal the word meticulous. Was that meticulous insights?
Meticulous market insight.
Meticulous market insight. Okay, cool.
What's that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because I just want you to know that just sounded like my son's wedding vows to his wife. What? It was just so stellar that I thought, oh my gosh, where did he get that? Whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
I
I would,
Yeah.
Scarlett, you're so funny.
I love the idea of ChatGPT writing wedding vows. Actually, I really like that idea. God, I'm stealing that idea. I had ChatGPT writing wedding vows.
You need to redo.
Version, if anybody wants to borrow.
I do.
Okay, let's head over to Natalie.
Okay, mine does not sound like I'm trying to be a CEO, but, mine's also the Chat GTP, but, because yeah.
Sure.
After running a thriving salon for 22 years through word of mouth and excelling as a travel consultant for a decade, my deep passion for people has naturally led me to real estate. Committed, hardworking, and honest, I am determined to channel my skills into helping others make significant real estate decisions, from guiding first-time home buyers to advising on strategic investments. Your needs are my utmost concern. Backed by a dedicated team, I am here to advocate in your world of real estate.
Cool, great. Stacy, let's have yours next.
I wrote it and then they.
Good ideas, Mark.
I like down home cooking kind of stuff.
Down home
I
cooking.
don't know if it sounds that great. I think it sounds kind of like laying
I would definitely, so the things you all just read,
laying down home cooking. I don't
Yeah.
want to sound like that.
you're very rarely gonna use the literal words you just wrote. Like, if you put that in an ad, people are like, what the heck is wrong
No,
with you?
because that's why I put stuff and then ChatGPT rewrote it. So that's why I'm like.
Yeah, and so this is well, we're gonna get to it. This is more a seed that is going to grow into usable marketing.
Right.
This exact text is probably never gonna see the light of day, and we're
It
probably.
better
shouldn't.
never, it's being recorded though.
Oh, no. All right, Stacy, you're up.
Okay, I feel like young kids gave me a new tool, I'm using it, I like it.
Sure.
So go chat. So inputting all the keywords that we just discussed.
Uh.
That's where I'm coming from. So, be Stacy Humberding, your trustworthy and caring real estate professional with a headstrong and analytical approach. I bring honesty, integrity, and a genuine commitment to your real estate journey. Backed by a solid background in operations and instructional expertise, I offer a unique blend of skills to guide you seamlessly to define your selling process. My commitment to understanding your needs, coupled with strong listening skills, ensures a personalized experience tailored to your goals. Let's embark on this journey together, turning your real estate aspirations into reality.
Cool, great. Let's jump over to Jenna.
Hopefully, I don't know, it's a little rough. Okay, I wrote this myself.
Had a girl.
I believe that the home you live in and properties you invest in can become the foundation for the lifestyle that you want to create. With 20 years experience of my own, of my own in real estate. Wait, hold on. 20 years of my own real estate experience, I need to change that. I am driven, passionate. Oh my gosh, hold on. I have a lot of typos, I'm sorry.
You're
I
fine.
am driven and passionate about helping you with your real estate needs. Honesty and integrity are my hallmark. I would be honored to provide you with my experience, attention to detail, and excellent customer service as you build the foundation for your future. Trust my team of experts at the #1 brokerage in Utah to support you in all things real estate.
Brilliant. I really like that one. That was very good. Okay, Connor, take us home.
Yeah, so I'm Connor Holmes. I am your go-to realtor with experience in investing. I invest in your success before my own, because if you don't succeed, then I can't succeed. So you know that I'm going to give you the best service possible in order to achieve what I want to achieve alongside with you. I tailor strategies that align precisely with your goals, and I don't stop until we meet those goals.
Ooh, there was a lot there that I really liked. That was very good. This is still the point in which I think we could be liberally stealing from each other. And so if you heard anything that inspired you, even if it was written by a robot's brain, steal it. Or steal wholesale from the robots. Robots don't have rights.
Can I share mine?
Lupe, I'm so sorry. Yes, of course you can.
Okay. It's all right. I'm a straightforward, honest, and hardworking person. I believe in good, positive energy. I've seen firsthand the benefits of being a homeowner, and I want you to reap the benefits as well. I will give you my best effort, and if there's a question that I don't know the answer to, I will find the answer out for you.
I like that one a lot. That was also really, really good. Was that from a biological brain or a synthetic one?
That was from the 3 minutes you gave us.
Hey. Okay, from now on, I'm going to consider this laptop to be Lupe. All right, thank you, Lupe, and thank you for making me give you a turn. But now I've given you a physical place in the room. You are the laptop. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is help us turn this into actual usable marketing material, because a lot of you have said, oh, this made me really uncomfortable. And yeah, it's really uncomfortable to talk about yourself, and nobody likes it. Nobody wants to hear why you think you're so great. So we're going to talk about how to make it so people do want to hear it. There are 3 questions I want you to run your value statement through. Okay, so the first question, and these do go in order, is your value statement true? Is what you just said true and correct information about yourself? And if the answer is no, what can you do to make it true? Or how do you need to adjust it to make it true? In most cases, if you, I didn't hear anything that was very expertise-y that you couldn't already back up. So good job on that. But if you're like, hey, I'm the #1 expert on Provost market conditions or whatever, then that's unlikely to be correct at this point, but there are steps you could take to make that correct. And they're not that many or complicated. You guys haven't learned about CMAs yet, is that true? I mean, except for those of you who have been here forever. Like 6 months. But that you haven't learned comparative analyses yet? Okay.
Don't you think that over-promising yourself makes you look like an idiot?
Absolutely. Don't do that.
In a lot, like, I mean, yeah, we want to build, we all said we were honest. And so when we're doing our things, we need to keep those honest too.
Right. Yeah. And so that's why at the very core, we want to make sure the value statement that you're giving, that you're operating from, is true. And so it's, as I said before, it is fine to be aspirational, not as much when you're talking to clients. It's fine to be aspirational in here. And so if you want to be the market expert on whatever town you're from, then become that. It's so much easier than you think it is. And then the second thing is, do you yourself believe your value statement? And this is, I think, an epidemic among just our generation in general, is like hating yourself and not believing in yourself. You can't afford that. Like literally, you will not get as many paychecks if you struggle with that. So once you've established it's true, you need to believe what you are saying to the core of your being. And so if you've made an offer in your value statement, for example, I have the best network in Utah in Keller Williams. Do you believe that? Like if you had a question about water rights, do you know who you would talk to? Dean. And then now you do. But then everything you said there, like if you described yourself as a hard worker or as a friendly agent, or I didn't take enough notes from your value statement. That's my failing. But it needs to be something that you yourself actually believe, because if you're like, oh, I'm a very hard worker, and they're like, no, you're not, and you don't believe you are, then you're gonna wilt, right? Also, what's happening in that conversation? What's going on with that particular consultation there? And then finally, and I would argue most importantly, is once you have established, okay, what I'm saying is true, the things I just wrote down are true facts about me. I actually believe them. I believe that I'm the best agent for this person. Now we need to talk about showing it. And this is where we get from, it's very uncomfortable to talk about yourself. It is not uncomfortable to demonstrate these traits. Are you all advertising on social media?
Yeah.
Okay, that's very good.
Not yet.
Lupe, did you say not yet?
Yeah, can I ask you a question about that? Do you
Please.
feel like we should have a separate social media from our personal one? Or do you think we should just do one for both? Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so one thing, yes, you should have a business page because of how the Facebook advertising algorithm works. You should definitely have a business page at least to run ads from. As for if you should get a new personal page that's like Lupe Realtor, I hate those pages. And so I don't have one, and so I can't speak to whether they work.
She said
Okay.
she was going to your business for family and friends though,
Uh-huh.
so.
Oh, no, then definitely just, yeah, work from your personal page. Although every one of you should have a Facebook business page. They are so powerful for what they're good at. You don't necessarily need to update it all the time, but it's for running ads. Yeah, that's beyond the scope of this lesson. But you absolutely should have a business page. You should be running ads from it. Command has actually pretty well optimized ads. You can run through it. But again, that is outside the scope of this lesson.
Okay.
But then anytime, oh, sorry, Jenna, you had a,
Oh, well, I was just gonna say,
the tagline I use for myself is, hi, I'm Cavan, I'm your nerdy realtor friend. And then I never say it, but I try to put myself as personal, easy to be around. And then my expertise, I am a diligent and enthusiastic student of the market. I do follow the numbers very closely. And then I've done the certified negotiation expert course twice. I never paid them the $200 at the end, so I didn't get my name on the list because who the crap cares. But I do really enjoy negotiation. That's what I love about real estate, and I do think I'm pretty darn good at it. And then experience, I have been doing this for 9 years.
I thought you were gonna say that you negotiated your way out of the $200 fee.
I think. Oh, dang, that was the final test. I never saw it. So when I talk about real estate online, I had a goal this year to put one real estate video a week up online. I've been doing okay recently. Whenever I introduce myself, whenever I'm explicitly talking about real estate, I introduce myself as your nerdy realtor friend. And then whenever I'm making content, I try to make it personable, approachable, and entertaining. This is something I think almost every realtor fails at. We all say we're friendly. We all fail to demonstrate it. And then when I talk about it, I try to tell stories, which relates to my experience from my career. And I try to focus on stories where we had tough negotiations that I got through. That's not 100% true all the time. Obviously, if there's just something interesting that happened, I'll relate that. But in general, I try to make sure the focus is stories from my career, and especially if there's a difficult or tricky negotiation that I managed, I try to convey that. And then when something interesting happens in the market, every month I do a market report that I post a video of. And then when something interesting happens in the numbers, I post that. Because I don't want to put a 3-minute video saying, hi, I'm Cavan. I'm really fun to be around. I study the market. I'm so much smarter than your realtor. Oh, and I negotiate like I'm a friggin' house on fire. I'm doing this 9 years, which is not as long as your realtor, but much longer than some of your realtors. Like nobody wants that. It's like when the car companies are like, we were voted #1 car company. Who cares? Like, has that ever changed anyone's mind? They've probably done the research. Maybe it does, but
It also sounds like all the car companies say that.
yeah, every
So
single
this-
company.
So this is the meeting.
Well, and similar to how every realtor is like, I really want to help you find your dream house. Like, yeah, we all do. And if we are all special, none of us are. And so it really helps sort of corner your market, right? And then everything you say about your business, so much as is reasonable, should support the messages you're putting out about that business. And so, guys, I'm really sorry I didn't write down notes from your value statements as you were giving them. I was off in la la land. I have ADHD. I was diagnosed last week. Right?
Really?
Yeah, but I'm on meth now, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's what my son always says. I take meth, mom. I'm like, that's what they.
So it actually explains a lot. And those of you who have known me for a little bit, you're like, oh, this is me medicated.
You're not.
Okay, let's build a marketing profile for someone who's willing to be a little bit vulnerable, and then, but when you're done, you will have some really useful stuff. Scarlett, let's go. Would you kindly read your value statement again?
Oh, I don't want to. Chris took it.
I know this. Wait, Chris took it?
No, I wanted hers. Hers was really
Oh,
good.
just give hers then.
Okay, well, I don't have it, so therefore.
You did take
well,
it.
no,
I see what you're
actually, I did take a picture of it, because that's where.
saying.
Honestly,
That's what she gets
I
for
don't
leaving
know
her.
how to build one, because Kevin, I don't feel like. I don't know what I bring to the table, other than I'm sweet, I'm nice, I got your back, I will work hard for you, I am
We
terribly
can work
loyal.
with that. Let's build this from the ground up. So we've got sweet, nice, I've got your back. What else? Read me what you like.
I'm a fighter, and I will go to
Okay.
bat for somebody, but I want it to be a win-win situation. It will always be a win-win.
Okay.
In my eyes, that's the most important thing, that my client gets what they want, but I'm a protector, and I literally will bend over backwards to serve and help and make sure that they get what they want.
Okay, I liked win-win a lot. Because that's part of the company propaganda, so obviously I have to. like it.
Fully me.
Cool. Expertise, something that you feel you're good at or that you would like to be good at.
Okay, well, mine's more of the aesthetics. I know, like, if I was listing a home, I would know precisely, how to declutter it. How to make it look
Yeah.
beautiful.
Staging,
I'm really good at that.
brilliant, absolutely brilliant. We didn't put that on the list. That should have made the list. That's a very important part of listing. Okay,
So my expertise would be the fact that I've been through, foreclosure, I've been through, the loss, I've been
Okay.
through, I've witnessed,
I think
my
you're
other,
creative.
my family, having experienced some really bad things that happened when their home inspector came and overlooked things. I'm gonna be adamant about making sure that my people are protected.
oh, this is great, Scarlett. This is, we can work with this profile for sure.
Okay.
Is there anything else you'd like thrown here? I think this is a strong profile.
You didn't like my creative? I thought she was creative.
Get out of here.
I thought that was helpful. Creative's helpful. She's creative.
Do you want to take creative?
Certainly.
Do you feel it in your heart? Because
Yes,
it
in
kind of needs
that-
to come from you.
Okay, I'm really, really interested in finding out creative ways of making the financing work for you, even though I'm not a mortgage person,
Yep.
so. But that tickles me.
That's a massive, massive asset right there. Okay, so let's go through this. Some marketing pieces that immediately come to mind and how you could demonstrate this. I know we've known each other a while, so you've been here how long?
Since September.
September. I feel like you're like a fixture in my career, so that's weird.
That's because I'm here today.
Okay. Okay, well, good job coming to work every day.
Driven.
Driven.
Aren't you driven, Scarlett? I'd say yes.
Very.
You didn't claim that yourself, but I'm writing it, because you come to the office every day, and that is, puts you in a shockingly high percentile.
Oh, there's the
Okay.
louder.
So-
Passionate, compassionate.
Have we closed any deals yet?
That's very big.
Guys, that was an activity I meant to
No,
do.
I have not.
Something that I recommend you do, probably not now, because it's well in the past. But if you want help with your personality traits, I recommend making a nice vulnerable post on social media, set it to friends, not public, or text people that you trust, family members, friends, say, hey, what are personality, like positive personality traits you think I have? That is an odd text to send and an odd post to make. I understand that. The responses you get will make you feel amazing, and also will show you what other people think about you. You're gonna need to. People can be a little bit fake sometimes in that sort of thing, which is why I recommend take it from people you trust, not people who want stuff from you. Because if like a lender responds and like, you're such a hard worker and you're such a good realtor, it's like, thanks, pal, thanks. But like, you know, your parents or your close friends, or if you have a significant other, like people that you really trust their opinion of you and they don't want something from you by answering the question. So anyway, I wish I'd done that earlier in this lesson, but I forgot. Let's blame my cold. Okay, so I'm so sorry. Have you closed any deals?
No.
Okay, that's fairly normal. This is a terrifying market. Welcome, everyone. So one thing I think is worthwhile, have you done open houses?
Yes, I'm doing one tonight.
If you, oh, wonderful. Okay, go to the open house, and if the house is well staged, grab some pictures.
It is.
And then just put it on your social media, be like, hey, I'm doing an open house. I really like what they did with here. This is why this is such a good staging element. Like that's an awesome argument, because it very casually shows, hey, I'm good at staging. And it's not you saying you're good at staging, it's you demonstrating that you're good at staging. As Jenna was saying, I would not do a post like this more than once a week. The 80-20 principle applies here. You should have 4 posts. Hey, I'm a normal human just like you. And then 1 post sneaks in there, and I'm a realtor. But that would be a great post. If there's a staging element we don't like, I personally am not comfortable like making fun of other people's houses. But a lot of realtors make a lot of hay doing that. So it's your call. They're very popular social media posts. I'm not a fan, but you're your own business owner. Then for next week or a week when you don't have an open house, telling stories about foreclosure or the bad inspector, that sounds like it could be 2 different stories. I'm not sure. That could be really good. The more vulnerable you can be on social media, the more people will respond to you. And I wish it weren't so, but here we are. And so if you throw yourself in front of a camera and you start crying because of the story you're telling about a foreclosure you went through, you're gonna make so many waves with that video. But don't fake it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I don't. Sorry.
She does a great job with videos.
Great. Wait, do I follow you?
I don't know.
Are you on the Facebook?
Yes,
I'm gonna follow you right now. What's your last name, Scarlett?
it's Wilkinson, Wilkinson.
Farewell, Connor. Thank you for coming.
Bye.
Scarlett B. Wilkinson, add friend. Okay. So just give you some ideas, and does everyone kind of see what we're doing with this? It's a show, don't tell. Does anyone else? I'm sorry. Do you feel taken care of?
Yes,
Okay.
no, this is huge because I was beating myself up prior to, and I was like, okay, we gotta stop this. We gotta stop it.
There's a lot you can do here too. With any of these traits that you want to emphasize, these are the 2 you gave me, and so these are the 2 I kind of want you to
Those are
focus on.
the 2 that.
But if these strike you as more true, do those. Since you don't have your own closings yet, you might want to look at other stories in real estate focused stories where like a deal went badly and you're like, oh, I wish the realtor had done this. Or, hey, isn't it cool that this happened? Or something like that.
Okay.
Once you have your own stories to tell, be very careful with confidentiality. You never ever say the name of a client that you're telling a story about, and you obscure details as much as you reasonably can. Because you owe a duty of confidentiality to your clients, but you want to show that you have these attributes.
Thank you so much. That was huge.
Yeah, well, would anyone else like to do a quick marketing profile? I love doing this.
Nobody else will, I would love to.
All right. Let's go to Jenna and then, I'm so sorry.
If somebody
Really?
else wants to go for it, but
Well, let's do it, Jenna. I already follow you on social media. I remember some of your posts. So, your value statement, hit me up with it again.
okay, I believe that the home you live in and the properties you invest in can become the foundation. Okay, so when they're done talking, I'll talk because my brain doesn't work. Like it doesn't move back from this side. I believe that the home you live in and the properties you invest in can become the foundation for the lifestyle you want to create. With 20 years of my own real estate experience, I am driven and passionate about helping you with your real estate needs. Honesty and integrity are my hallmark. I would be honored to provide you with my experience, attention to detail, and excellent customer service as you build a foundation for your future. Trust my team of experts at one of the top brokerages in Utah to support you in all things real estate.
Okay, I heard driven, passionate, honest. There was one more.
Oh, driven, passionate, honest, attention to detail, excellent customer service.
That's it. I'm gonna put attentive. Okay, when you say in 20 years, what are you referencing?
My own personal, like, so.
Oh, right, your
Yeah.
investment empire.
Right. Well, it's not investment, I just moved around all those times, so I bought and sold a lot of houses and properties.
Oh, yeah, okay, that gives us awesome content to work with.
Yeah.
Surely you ran into weird issues when you bought and sold 20
Oh,
years of properties.
I've done it myself and it was a huge nightmare. And, without a realtor. I've built 4 houses. I've bought and sold land and residential.
I remember you mentioned you sold 2 parcels of land, which I do think
Yeah.
put you above average.
Yeah.
I have not sold any land. I looked into it and I didn't want to. Because I had a couple of friends ask me about it, like if you get like large commercial, we're not talking about land, sorry. I looked into land for a while. I think it's a fascinating topic, but I was like,
Yeah, I enjoy it because I grew up on ranches in California,
Yeah.
partly, and in Hawaii, and in big cities like Houston and Denver. I mean, I've lived in rural and urban, all over the place.
Okay.
I know everything about mold that there is to know.
I'll add mold to the
I
list.
mean, so many things. I know about termites, mold.
Yeah.
Inspections, everything.
I want to drill into customer service a little bit. Can you give me like a specific? I want to get more specific, like we're trying to tie into people's emotions, right? And so what is the customer service thing that you bring to the table? What's a specific moment you're going to deliver to clients? That question is a little vague, but I hope it lands.
Well, I mean, I used to be a customer service representative. I was, I sold G-rated movies online, or not online, but over the phone,
Mhm.
like in a call center, and then I became a manager of telemarketers, and then I worked in cell phone business. I don't know, customer service.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I really care. I care about people. And
Yeah.
people know that. Like I love people and I want to do what's best for them. I want
Yeah.
I
Okay.
want to provide value to them.
Do you have some closings we can draw on? I mean, I know you have your personal closings, which is actually pretty good.
Yeah, well, I'm closing next week on a listing and then I had a buyer under contract, but the inspection went poorly, so fell out of contract. Working on many that as soon as the interest rates come down, they will be buying houses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure you know about that. Yeah, I'm very familiar with closings.
Okay.
So customer service,
So, okay, there's a couple angles I think we can take here that I'm seeing. One is with the closing, the closing you had or the clients you've worked with, if there is something where you,
Oh, can we just change that? Let's not focus on customer service. I have excellent communication skills. I'm an excellent communicator.
so the ones that strike me as most demonstrable, honest. Let's skip honest. Attentive, I think, is something cool. If there is something where you saw in a contract something like, were they buyers, sellers?
Which ones?
The ones you closed or are closing?
Oh, yeah, they're sellers.
Okay, so if like there was something in the offer that you noticed, that you caught and protected them from, or how was the negotiation of that deal?
I didn't do the negotiation. It's co-listing. So what I've been very attentive with on that is I've been her therapist and she's been venting to me constantly and, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do about all this junk, and she's a hoarder, and what do I do about this mulch? Okay, I will get you landscapers. I will get you, like all the different contractors.
Ooh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You've got like double confidentiality there. That is interesting. So aligning up vendors for your client, that is interesting. I think that is something you could use. I'm trying to think. In a way that doesn't mess with confidentiality. If you just, I wouldn't say
I'm
the
a
client was a
resource.
hoarder.
I'm a valuable resource, I'm well connected.
If there's a story you can find there, like my client was stressing out, and so I managed to line up, blah, 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 like landscapers, da, da, da. That sort of draws on like your network, it kind of draws on the attentiveness. I think that is interesting. That is really interesting. Any ideas from anyone else here?
Somebody's ChatGPT thing said something about this. It had a good phrase. I'm trying to remember which one it was. Yeah.
Meticulously.
Yeah.
Bye, Melissa. Thanks for coming.
Bye, Melissa.
Let's let this one stew for a bit, because there's definitely something there. Let's hear a horror story from when you bought or sold the property.
Oh my gosh, which one?
I don't know. I guess you can
My
actually.
most recent purchase of my home that I live in now, my realtor, I can put her in jail. She breached fiduciary duties many times.
Okay.
She offered she did both sides. She offered the buyer and seller a total of over $12,000 worth of things, my personal belongings and money that I would bring, $4,000 to closing, or blah, 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 all these things. And several other things. Yeah. Anyway, but another a nightmare I had when I did not hire a realtor, because I was moving to Vernal, Utah, and we were living in an apartment for a month, and then we're buying this house. It had just been built by an individual builder who just did one house at a time.
Yeah.
And he allowed us to put all our stuff in the garage so he could hook us, right? And then he said, okay, it's staged, furnished, all that comes with the house. And then he said, but if you're going to use a realtor, we won't work with you. So we ditched our realtor. We had not signed a BBA yet.
Sure.
And it came down to, the week before closing, and I'm over there measuring the furniture, and some contractors show up, some subs show up, and they're like, yeah, do you know where the builder is? Because we haven't been paid yet. I'm like, are you serious? And then another one comes, hey, I haven't been paid either. And so I started tracking down all the subs, okay? I'm talking like a dozen subs who have not been paid on this property. And so I'm forcing the builder to meet at the bank with all these subs and pay them. And it gets down to the date in the morning of closing, and there are 3 subs who have not been paid.
Yeah.
And so the builder sends a text to my ex-husband, and he says, tell your wife to back off, because I'm not going to pay these last 3. And if you won't pay them, then we're not closing on the house today. And we already had all of our stuff in his garage. We were out of our apartment that day. We had nowhere to go.
I wonder why he didn't want you to work with a realtor. I can't explain it.
What's that?
I wonder why he didn't want you to work with a realtor.
And we get there and all the furnishings, everything was gone.
Right.
I mean, all the staging stuff was gone, which he said came with the house. And and we had to pay the last 3 subs.
Sheesh.
plus he raised in the,
That's a heck of a
he
story.
raised it $50,000 above appraisal, because he said, well, I'll just sell it to somebody else who will pay this if you're not gonna pay it. So it just, we had to come up with an extra 50,000.
So literally turn on a camera, tell that story. And maybe, yeah, I think that's a heck of a marketing piece. And then I think the driving point there is, golly, I wish I'd hired a realtor, but now I can become that realtor. Good.
Yep.
Yeah, I think this might be a good deep well to dig into. Because you, as a realtor, owe fiduciaries to your clients, which is why, like, I'd say get a couple more closings before you tell a story about your therapy client. Because literally, I don't think anyone would, but if you told the story like, oh, I had a hoarder and I helped line up these clients, I could then look up on the MLS, the closing you had, and like, oh, so it's that person.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I do think that's a good story. I'll sit on that one for a bit. But then I think you do have a nice deep well here. Literally point a camera at yourself, your phone or whatever, and just tell the story into the camera. I would show it to like another realtor or someone you trust, say, hey, does this work or should I change it up? But yeah, it sounds like you've got a good deep well, but that's a great story. When my wife and I was a licensed realtor, and when we bought our current place in Provo, of course we didn't hire a realtor. And then it was funny because they had so many vulnerabilities after inspection that I could have crucified them. Because they were FSBOs, they didn't know what they were doing. It was already vastly underpriced, but I felt so bad. I was like, oh, I don't want to wail on them. And like, I think about that all the time. It's like, no, they chose not to get a representation.
Yeah.
And so I kind of wish I'd gone for the throat.
Yeah.
And I think about that all the time. It's like, maybe I should have hired a realtor, because even me with my vast market knowledge, was too close to the deal emotionally. Whereas an agent could have been like, no, you need to bleed them. You need to get the best deal you can get. So that's it. I'm a cutthroat capitalist, guys. And you all are too. You signed up for that. Brinley, let's you still good to do a profile for you? And then we're probably done, but hopefully this gives everyone an idea on how to sell forward. Yeah.
I think we just wanted to do a profile. Are you sure? Okay.
I'm down with whatever. I have no attachment to either of you. I have low-key contempt for everyone in this room.
So should I take out customer service and put in there strong communication?
Not necessarily. Like, it is nice to narrow it to a concise list so you keep coming back, hit the same notes. With customer service, I do like the idea of specifying. And as you move forward and as you get to know yourself as a realtor, they will naturally become more specific. Like you'll be like, oh, I really love doing CMAs, or you know, oh, I really am good at delivering bad news. Like the more specific and the more tied into someone's emotions it can be, the stronger it'll be as a presence. Brinley or Lucas. All right, let's do it, Brinley.
And make me.
All right.
Okay,
Well, you guys don't need me to do this. I'm hoping that you'll develop the skills and do this yourselves. But
I think the way you're organizing it is really helping us to watch everybody else go.
yeah, so when you look in you have Ignite books, right? Am I insane? Ignite has a book, doesn't it?
I think so.
I had asked Hunter one time and nothing.
Okay. Okay, well, cool.
Ignite book?
No. It's supposed to be an Ignite book, but I've never. Yeah.
On your playbook.
It's on our playbook.
When I read the instructor manual stuff in this lesson, I was very displeased. So this is a Cavan original. Brinley, let's go.
Okay, so I am Brittany Erickson, a dedicated and passionate real estate professional committed to turning your property aspirations into a reality. whether you're a first-time home buyer and an investor looking for lucrative opportunities or seller aiming to maximize returns, I'm here to guide you through every step of the process. And my approach is rooted in transparency, integrity, and personalized service. I believe that each client deserves a tailor-made strategy. And I pride myself on providing clear communication and expert advice to ensure informed decisions. I don't really have experience that I can put down.
Right.
I'm 21 and
You're good.
I've never owned a home or anything like that, so I don't really know.
That's where you fall back on KW.
Okay, so
Is like, I'm a member of the largest real estate brokerage with centuries of experience combined.
okay, with like, and maybe just mention, you know, kind of how there's,
I wouldn't say centuries actually, because real estate itself as a concept is not centuries old.
maybe should I mention like the team approach that KW has and all of the
Yeah.
different like training and education that we do as part of that. And how would
Yeah,
I-
that's not bad. It is interesting to do the education angle. I didn't think about that. Because like Keller Williams does fancy itself very good at training.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I think we are. I think I agree. I'm trying to think if the customer cares about that. Right? And I'm not sure. Maybe. I think it could,
Right?
actually, yeah, I'm gonna put it down because I have some ideas for it now.
Okay.
Because something that I like doing, one of the weirder, more successful posts I did is I went to the PSA course, the Pricing Strategy Advisor course, and I posted a picture of me with other agents and said, learning how to price a home in the context of a market. And I got like 20 responses. They're like, oh, we love that you're so passionate about things that bore us. So, yeah, I did not expect that post to do as well as it did. And so I think there is something to learn and training. I think that kind of says more about you than Keller, but that actually might be a good thing. Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna put on the list. You had a bunch more stuff on your list than I was able to write down in time, but I think we got some good stuff here. You're brand new, right?
Pretty much, I've been here like a couple months, but.
Okay. So we don't have any closings to pull on yet. Okay. First time home buyers is a fantastic and terrifying specialization right now. As you maybe know, they are more or less being pushed out of the market between the mix of prices being hiked for the last 12 years and then interest rates suddenly jumping and prices not necessarily coming down to meet them. And so first time home buyers is a troubled demographic to specialize in. But for that reason, I think first time home buyers are hungry for people who give them workable solutions. So one thing that I think is definitely worth your time, especially you said you're 21, you're going to be so freaking rich.
Yeah.
It's
Look that way, but.
look, you've joined the market at a very challenging time. And I don't see any reason to sugarcoat that.
Can I
It-
challenge
No. But if you're able to adapt and make it work, you're gonna be so freaking rich. So what I think is worth looking into if you want to take this first time home buyer market, because they are desperate. Learn about seller financing, learn about like 2-1 buy downs, 3-2 buy downs. Is that gibberish to you right now?
Sorry to say that. One.
If you can do videos about, I'm just gonna write these down.
That was great.
And then a subset of that is, it's gonna be two numbers. So like a 3-2 buy down or a 2-1 buy down. Do you have a lender that you like right now?
I do, yeah.
They know what these are.
Okay.
So call them and say, hey, I'm interested in doing content about creative financing, seller financing. These are subsets of seller financing, kind of. Your lender can explain it better than I can. Here's the problem with these videos, is they're boring as toast. And so you want to. If you can infuse your personality into it, it's like, let me tell you about the 2-1 buy down. And what that shows people, even though the vast majority of people are gonna check out of that kind of video, is if you make sure you start it right, like, hey, I'm Brindley and first-time home buyers are bleeding right now, but let me tell you about something great, the 2-1 buy down. Even if that's the only message they get, they're like, oh, Brindley is someone to talk to as a first-time home buyer. I haven't seen a video like this that I've loved, but I am neck deep in this industry and most of your customers are not. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So. Okay,
So you said, I'm kind of like trying to copy the phrase that you said, you said first time home buyers are bleeding right now, but let's talk about something interesting. Like-
yeah, so let's talk about your options. Because conventional financing is much more difficult. Or I'm trying to, if there's a better way to. How would I do this if I was doing a 2-1 buy down video?
Can I say what I say? 'Cause
Go
I
for it, Jenna.
A lot of.
But if you try to say this is an easy market, I will kick you.
Oh, no, you have a really positive view on this market, and actually, yeah, since I've got the floor, I'm gonna say it. But
Boo! Everyone boo this woman.
no, seriously, it is such a blessing to start at this time right now when everything is slow, so that we can build a solid foundation for ourselves. So we don't have Swiss cheese in our abilities before we get into a hot market, which is coming up.
No,
Where
no,
we're gonna be
I'm okay with
beat out by all the other experienced realtors. So this is great. Okay, so what was
Love
the
that.
other-
Lupe's on board.
Awesome, thanks, Lupe. Okay, what was the question?
Actually, I forgot. It was something to do with seller financing.
Oh, okay. Here's what I tell people. They're like, oh, Janet, how's the market? And I'm like, you know what? It's the toughest market since 1996, but it's really not a big deal because I know all kinds of ways to combat interest rates. And I'd be happy to let you talk to my lender if you have any questions. But there are buy downs that you can get the seller to pay for potentially. I have a lender who will offer a 3.5% grant. The state of Utah is offering a $20,000 grant for first time home buyers. And there are all kinds of ways to do this. There are also builders who are offering rates in the 5s and 6s. So it's really not a big deal. The fact is we're in a dip as far as housing prices because interest rates are so high. But there are all kinds of ways around.
Cool, love it. Okay, so Brindley, that is, does that give you some ideas for this kind of video? I want to explore some of your other areas here too.
Yeah. So you're saying just kind of like make a marketing social media post about seller financing for YouTube items or two.
Yeah, and then it just make sure it's a topic you can talk about reasonably competently. You
Okay.
cannot and should not give mortgage advice. But you should have a working knowledge of what these are.
That's what, yeah.
At least if you want to work first time home buyers, you gotta understand.
I should even just mention 3-2-1 or a 3-2 buy down or a 2-1 buy down. If you want to know what that is, I'll connect you with my right there.
Yeah.
You know?
The training angle is really interesting to me for Keller Williams. I think. Bearing in mind the same advice we've given other people, you don't really want to be posting about real estate more than once a week. But passionate. So you'll notice passionate showed up in a lot of value statements, and that's good. Being passionate about real estate is awesome. I don't know what that's like, but it sounds great. So this is, I think there's a connection here that you can play with because you are right now going to a training, what, 5 days a week, 4 days a week? Because you go to a, and so whereas stuff like today's your value statement, that's a little harder to. Today I learned how to present myself to clients. Nobody cares about that. But you're gonna get into meatier content about like how to do showings proper, how to do CMAs, which are brilliant. And so stuff like that, if you just share a post like, oh my gosh, I just learned something. I'll be clear, I'm not encouraging you to be fake. People can smell fake from a mile away. But find something that you're genuinely excited about in trainings and then talk about it. I'm trying hard not to get into the social media marketing stuff, but try to keep your posts to like I'm a big proponent of video and go like 60 seconds or less if you possibly can. Keep them short because nobody cares.
If there's a way you could figure out how to be like Rick Nye, the science guy, honestly, if you could make it fun,
Right?
Bill-
Bill?
Bill Nye.
Bill.
Bill Nye, well, Rick Nye was a photographer. Sorry about that. Okay, so Bill Nye, because I always thought science was so boring,
Mhm.
but he made it fun.
Yeah.
So if you could somehow make that fun or something visible, sorry.
Yeah.
That would be.
No, if you want, if you can be like
So it's
what
not
legal
boring.
Eagle did for attorneys, if you can do that for realtors, you're gonna become very wealthy. Because realtors, we're not, just historically have not been good at presenting ourselves online. So someone's gonna crack this code and they're going to make 8 digits of money. Not including the cents, that would make it 10 digits.
So what? Sense, yeah.
I think I just went off the rails there. The other thing I like from the value statement is advisor. This one's a little tricky until you have some closings. No, it's not. No, it's not. So what you do is, as you learn about pitfalls, have you gone to Dean's? I think it's called What If They Say Yes? Okay, so that is a gold mine of potential marketing content for someone who wants to market herself as an advisor. Because then you can be like, first of all, the advice is not going to come from your experience. It's just not. But Dean has a plethora of experience. He's a smart and successful agent. And so when he talks about, for example, earnest money, you say, how much earnest money should I recommend? He says 1% usually or whatever. And you say, why is that? And he tells you, just remember what he said, internalize it and say, hey, this is why I advise my clients to 1% earnest money. Technically, you probably haven't given that advice out yet, but you would, and you are doing it by nature of making that video. Besides, if I just cross transparency off here, it's fine. But that's something I did when I started real estate and I think is worth leaning on heavily. Like I thought the statute of frauds was fascinating when I was in real estate school. So I did a post talking about it. And I did a post about eminent domain. You know those things that come up all the time, the statute of frauds and eminent domain. Good thing we learned about those in real estate school. Dedicated's a little harder to demonstrate till you have some deals. Transparency is interesting. Something I like to do in my marketing that might resonate with you if you do, I'm sorry I crashed off transparency. That was a joke. I like this one. Is I like to throw other realtors under the bus as much as I can within the confines of the code of ethics. So you don't want to name specific realtors, but you're like, something that drives me crazy is when people try to make you sign the listing agreement as soon as they come over to your house. I think that's pushy crap. Whereas I would just rather give you the advice on the house and maybe it's not time for you to sell. So I would tell you, don't sell your house. I've done that where I've had consultations where I advise them not to sell. You better believe I marketed that because that's the only way I'm getting anything of value out of that. And so with transparency, I absolutely love pointing out things that drive me crazy about the industry. And implicitly you are saying, I don't do that.
I would like to put a post that says, hey, losers, when there's actually a deadline, freaking hit the deadline.
Yeah, that would be a good
Oh,
post.
wait, not rudely though, but maybe in a not so.
As long as you don't name them by name,
Yeah.
you're not running amok at the code of ethics. Dean might yell at you for that post, but it's not against the code of
But
ethics.
it's true though, you know,
I
there's a
agree.
deadline for a reason.
Yeah. Actually, a post explaining what the deadlines mean on the real estate contract could be kind of interesting in itself.
That's probably true.
And how it's an acceptance deadline, not a response deadline. That's
Yeah.
one of my pet peeves in the industry.
Well, that's what it is. There's a reason.
Yeah.
Not just because, you know, it says it's a good time, maybe think about putting back to us.
Yeah.
If you feel like it.
Brinley, has this given you ideas? I feel like I did you the worst service here.
Sorry, I was yawning. Yes. No, I'm not yawning. No, okay, I get it. I think it definitely gave me some ideas, especially the seller financing. I really
Yeah.
like the idea of doing that, especially if there are hopefully soon people my age that are gonna be, getting married, looking to buy their first home and things
Yeah.
like that. So I'm hoping that I could be a resource for them to be able to do that. I'm sure their parents would be like, don't go with someone your age, it's not gonna be or something, but I'm hoping that people my age are starting to buy homes and they reach out to me.
Well, and similar to how I think if you manage to stick to real estate for the next decade, I think you're gonna make just a grotesque amount of money. Anyone in their early 20s who's buying a house is winning. I think I'm unbelievably lucky to be a homeowner.
Yeah.
And I'm considerably older than you. The other thing I'd want you to pay attention to, Brinley, is as you go through Ignite and other trainings, you're gonna likely resonate with different things that are taught, like staging or showings or whatever. And then grab those, because what I'd love to see here is more specificity. And so it's like, oh, I really like the idea of staging or marketing or whatever. And then that will naturally give you a bunch of content you can talk about. To sort of show your value in those areas. This is a drastically unfair lesson to give brand new agents. But the sad reality is you do need to be able to do this on your first day out the door. And so that's why I say it's okay to be aspirational, right? Of course, none of you are going to be masters of staging or marketing or whatever. Of course not. But what you can decide immediately is I'm going to be a master of staging or marketing a home or CMAs or whatever. Because that's what you got. You got to eat now and become an expert over time. That's it. We're out of time. My throat is on fire.
I can imagine.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat right now.
Is anyone else feeling panicked or anything, like a question I should probably address today so you don't quit real estate forever?
I just wanted to say something, actually giving you a compliment on
Thank you.
doing this. I think actually talking with everybody in the group on one-on-one, we all kind of felt the same way. Coming in, it's a little nerve-wracking and intimidating and scary. So by you really putting that up there as a kind of looking at saying, hey, now you have that written. Is that really the truth? Is that really how you feel inside? Because I know for me, like my sister, she tells me, she's like, no, you come across as like hard on the outside sometimes.
Yeah.
And I don't show my vulnerability, and that's really how I'm feeling truly inside. So I think by what you put there, you really kind of express to us how important it is for the individual and
Yeah.
share who we are.
I agree.
Yeah, this
You want
is
to come across as who you really are, not like fake. Like, this is who I want to be, or this is, it makes me look cooler. No,
Yeah.
who people are really gonna see when Stacy comes to the door.
right. Well, because like we've all dealt with bad salesmen,
Yeah.
and like I feel like a lot of the skills we teach are to show people with absolutely no charisma how to sell. And I get that. I understand why that's a thing, but also I want there to be something for relationship-based selling, and I think that's something we slightly underserved. I am full of contempt for what they wanted me to teach. in this lesson.
Basically,
It was okay. It was fine.
but this is better, for sure.
Mine was way better.
But this is beneficial. We've really
Yeah.
benefited from this.
That's
That's the
really,
thing.
it really made me think a lot more about
What we're
what I'm
really,
gonna put into there.
Right.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad I dragged myself out of bed.
we're
because
glad you
I've
also
been grumpy all week.
thinking about this.
No, having a cold. Although it was fun because I got to stay home with my kids and my wife, which I should probably be out earning money. But it is nice to be like, oh, I'm home all day with my wife and kids.
Yeah, but if you feel like crap, it's gonna come across anyway.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming out.
We're happy you came, because
Yeah, well, thank
this really
you.
was very beneficial.
Cool. Well,
I feel much better about how I reframed my down home cooking to a little more like, you know, like you said, you read it, I read mine, and Melissa read hers, and Melissa goes, well, it's time to change mine.
Yeah,
Because hers was far too, so clinical, like so clinical.
well, in ChatGPT, I actually really like it as a tool. I think it's a good starting place. It uses so many words to say such simple ideas. Whereas like ChatGPT, tell me good morning. And it's like, what magnificent morning has
Right.
alighted upon us this day, my lord. It's
Yeah,
like, I
but
just-
see, at mine, I like to just put things in, and I usually have it rewrite it 3 times, and then I
Yeah.
take it from the 3. And use the words I like of the 3 to make it, cause
Yeah.
I write it myself, and then I say, rewrite what I say.
And
then I
that's, I
say-
think, exactly how it should.
And then I say, rewrite it again, and then rewrite it again, and then I'll add. Then I make a combination of the 3, cause I want it to sound like me,
Yeah,
but the best me.
it has to go through your human brain.
Yeah, if I have to start it and then finish it, cause I don't want to, cause here's the thing, I'm not clinical.
Yeah,
Melissa's clinical and should be a T, she should be a TC, and I'm not clinical. That's, you know, I should be a concierge, obvious, I think that's the thing.
I mean, I remember coming in just this morning going, there's a concierge over
You
there.
saw me and
Well,
that's
oh,
what you
am I in a
thought.
hotel? I thought, why is the concierge sitting?
That's exactly, you know what I mean? I'm just way more, you know, like she said, she's just not a people person. I'm a people person. If I were to write what she wrote,
Mhm.
people would be like, wait, are you the same person? Nice red?
The disc profile is dead, right? Like you guys didn't do anything with the disc profile.
No.
It's the, you know, the colors like red, yellow, green, white, or
Okay.
whatever they are.
I'm like,
Red,
we got
yellow,
those
blue,
now.
and then the other one's white or green is the last one. So when I started here, instead of the KPA, we did a disc profile. Which is D was red, I was yellow, S was blue, and C was the one that's either white or green, depending on which test you do. And I think so I tested I off the charts, a whole lot of D, and then very little, sorry, so yellow off the charts.
Personality wise,
Yeah,
right?
and then red, a good dollop of red, and then the other 2 colors virtually non-existent. I think that's changed quite a bit in my 9 years. I think I'm much more analytical than I was then. But I think there's a tendency to think like, oh, all realtors need to have a ton of yellow. Because I think most of us do. Otherwise sales would just be endless torture. But there's like Dan Kennedy, and he's very unsocial and he makes so much more money than I do. And so there's totally the analytical robots, they have their place. And I think all of us have to learn our defense.